friends, welcome back to my channel. The intro of this video mysteriously disappeared during editing, so I will do a quick little intro and then we'll jump right into it. This video is about my office, what started as a quick clean out. I wanted to go through the closet, turned into a complete redecoration, new paint, a mural on the wall, and moving a bunch of furniture around and redoing the whole room. So come hang out with me as I go through the process, and you can see kind of how my creativity just kind of went from doing what needed to be done to just following, you know, the white rabbit through the rabbit hole and following my creativity through the office and redoing it all. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys at the end. Welcome to my messy office. It's just been a collect all of my projects and my hobbies and piles of sewing projects. My poor closet has just been trashed. It has no organization at all, and everything's just tossed in there. Multiple projects just tossed in there. This needs to be organized better. It is just a hot mess and everything is just everywhere. I do have more stuff up here that's storage, which is artwork stuff and wallpapers up here that need to get organized onto the shelf and into this box. The piano keyboard situation, I have no idea what I'm going to do with that. It just needs to be somewhere in here. I just don't know how. And of course, I'm only working with this half of the room, as the other side of this room is now taken over by my husband's office, so I'm working with half a room. So he has his side all set up that I've already kind of designed and everything else. This side that I need to figure out something that is functional, because I cannot sew in here. I don't have a table in here. It's really hard to find everything. Things are in front of each other. It's just really difficult. Organized in such a way that I can actually use it and it's functional. So yes, let's get to it as I literally make the biggest mess ever. And then I will have to clean it all. So I started with just literally cleaning out the room. There's no way I can organize anything if I can't find anything. So I moved the keyboard out, played on my piano stool, moved that out, took care of this chair, which was just always in my way. So that is now out. I have a collection of sewing projects that I've just been stacking here in the corner with coats that I have been given from family members that need to be taken in and fixed. So I just stacked all of those out, and then I started working on cleaning this closet out. It has a lot of stuff from when we were homeschooling and games that the kids don't play anymore, all of my sewing, but nothing is truly organized. So my daughter and I just went ahead and started emptying the closet out into the room. The closet is mostly cleaned out. We cleaned off this whole shelf, and now I just need to clean these off. These shelves here I built when we moved into the house about 4 or 5 years ago. Didn't have any shelving or anything in this closet, so I ended up building these shelves here so I'd have some storage in here. There's a lot of board games and stuff in here that I still need to take out and put in the attic because the kids don't play with them anymore. The rest of this stuff is all art supplies that need a home. This all fit in the closet. I have no idea how it was all in that closet. Like, this is so much stuff. Okay, the closet. Ooh, someone has a blender going. The closet is empty. We emptied all of it out. It's all swept up. And it is all done. There's the shelves that I made a while ago. This one here I made out of old boards that I found in the house in the old kitchen that was in here. So they're all like icky. Well, not icky, but covered in probably lead paint, so we covered those. Here's my thought process. This room is empty, and obviously you can tell like it's still got mud on the walls. It needs paint. I don't have white paint. I have every color of the rainbow except for white paint. So we have options when it comes to paint. And it really makes me go, geez, I should paint the office. Because I don't like the blue. The blue was just a can of paint I had that I put on the walls because I didn't like the dark royal blue that was in here. And now I'm like, crap, I really kind of wish I kept it. Or maybe it was beige. No, I think it was blue before the beige. I don't even know. All I remember is I hated it and I changed the color and I painted it blue because that's what I had. I don't know about you guys, but I am a total collector of like leftover paint colors. I have so many cans of paint from other house projects, from my last house, ones from this house. So there's many options that we can go with in the closet, which will be non-traditional because closets should be white in my world, or beige or something, and not what I have. So I'm going to show you what colors I have, and then I'll take you on a house tour because most of these colors I have in the cans are on my walls, and we will go from there. And then it's also going to be how much is in each can, which I think will go in this tiny little under the stairwell Harry Potter style cupboard. Okay, paint colors. We have baby blue, which is baby blue. I still have like a half a can of that, so I know this will do the closet. I have, oh my gosh, almost a full can of this. Get some, I took them out from storage, which is teal, which is my bathroom color. I have this color, which is like a rusty orangey color, which is my stairwell. The orangey color in the stairwell. I have How Is So Sweet baby girl pink, which is my daughter's room. And this is the pink. And then I have this green color, which is pistachio gelato, which is my son's room. And the green, the pistachio. I went to the laundry room to go get a paintbrush and found gray paint, which is the color of my kitchen and my dining room and my living room. So I'm going to do the closet gray because I have the most of this and I just like the gray better. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to paint this gray. We'll see you in a bit. So I started by getting rid of all of the cobwebs, and I'm sure my little Spidey friends were very sad about this, but they needed to be swept down so I could paint the walls. Some of the mud that was in here was sanded and some of it was not sanded. I didn't sand some of them down, and I probably should have, but in my method of thinking, I was like, it was the closet, so I just painted it like, you know, no one's gonna check it, right? It's just the closet. So we ended up painting everything gray, the ceiling, even the slanted ceiling. In between the shelves, we did not paint the shelves. I decided that I was just gonna leave them raw the way they are and possibly stain them later if I had stain, which I could not find stain. The painting is all done. It is all gray. Shelves are still here, unpainted. I probably should stain them. I'm not sure. I don't know if I have stain. I'd have to look. So those are here. It's pretty big in here without all the stuff. I mean, it's like at least 4 feet wide. But now I'm going to fill it full of a bunch of the stuff and it will be tiny in here again. But hopefully it'll be better organized. Look, I found the original wall color, and apparently when I painted the room, I didn't move the shelf. So that's that dark blue I was talking about. I really wish they would have left it, because that is gorgeous. And then they painted it over with this beige, and then I painted it the blue. Sigh. I would have loved to have that dark blue. Wouldn't that have been nice? So I just started putting everything back in the closet. Once the paint was dry, we did move the bookshelf in there and put it next to the other big white bookshelf. We moved it down. So I have gotten a lot of the stuff in the closet over here. The giant mess that we made over here is mostly picked up, and put away. The problem now is all of this stuff in the hallway that I have pulled out, I still need to find a home for. These are all games that are going to the attic that the kids don't play with anymore. There's a pile of trash, pile of coats. All my filing cabinets need a home. The piano table, the 2 plants here, and the keyboard. So I have all of that stuff that still needs to go in that room somewhere. I think I need a giant storage cabinet. There's just so much stuff. It's okay, we're gonna get through it, so I'm gonna keep carrying on and carrying on. Next problem is I need to figure out what I'm doing about this wonderful beige wall. I do have the blue paint, but I don't think I'm gonna paint it blue. I think I might change color, cause why not? So I decided to paint the room gray to match the closet. And I only started on this one wall. I decided not to do the blue, even though I had it. I just wasn't a fan of the blue, like I said earlier. So I decided to start painting it gray. But as you'll see here in a moment, my imagination and creativity got away from me a little bit, and the gray did not stay gray very long. So I was just obviously painting, and while I'm painting, I had this really awesome idea. What if I made it look like stone wall? Like, think like the English cottage thing, you know, with like the stone, and then you can see the post and beam through it. And then it made me think, oh, well, I could do it on half of the room, have it be kind of like stone wall-y and stone wall-y. I don't know, what is that called? Is it literally called a stone wall? Because when I say stone wall, I think like stone wall here in Maine, like stone wall. Anyway, it would be walls with stone, and then the post and beam look, and then I could marry it into the other half of the room. That's my husband's office. That is a blue wall, because I know like sometimes they have the stone wall with post and beam, and then the other side is like sheetrock, and then, you know, they would paint that a color. So that was my great epiphany while I was painting. My husband's probably gonna kill me if I do that, but I really want to do it now. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, and I'm thinking of doing it, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it. So I don't know. We'll see. But it sounds really cool. And I mean, I'm already in the middle of painting, and I'm already in the middle of doing stuff, and I'm cleaning out, and I've already made a big mess. So I mean, it kind of seems logical if I was to do something of that nature that I would do it now. So I kind of want to do it. It's really hard when like inspiration, creativity hits. It's really hard to be like, no, I don't want to do that. We're just going to do this. Because I'm just want to do whatever the inspiration-y thing says. I'm probably gonna do it. Yeah, I probably am. All right, I'm gonna start messing around with this. I think maybe I'll start on this itty-bitty wall in between the 2 doors. And then I'll see how my husband reacts when he gets home. So I started by just drawing out what my stones would look like on the wall with a pencil, and just kind of loosely mapped them out. I went with a flagstone flat rock type of theme, as that was my husband's favorite type of stone wall that he always builds. And I figured it would get me brownie points, since he didn't know that I was drawing on the wall and making a mural, that if it was something he liked, he would like it better. Which he was still quite shocked when he came in and I showed him, and he was like, "What have you done?" And then was like, "It's really cool. I can't believe you're doing this, but it's really cool." After I drew out all the rocks, I went ahead and started drawing all of the, would they be called grout lines or cements on the inside? So I went ahead and started painting those all in gray, but then I later realized after I painted all of them in that I didn't paint all the rocks. Which I should have painted all of the rocks first, which you'll hear about that. Probably if I do this on another wall, I would do this first before drawing all the lines in, because I'm like going over the lines. And that's not a huge deal, it's just annoying. This is just giving some texture to it, but I'm also like rubbing it and then coming back and giving it more texture, so it's not just looking like you can see where my, you know, my whatever they are called here, texture bumps are, like you're not seeing a pattern or anything with it. Yeah, next time do the whole wall like this, and then we will texturize. Because now I need to go through and fix where I went over my lines. Not a big deal. I've never painted pretend rocks on a wall before, so you learn, I guess. Alright, but I gotta stop and I gotta make dinner, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye! I had an idea of taking plaster and adding some texture to the rocks a little bit. And I'm not going over every rock completely, I am just putting a little bits of texture here and there so you can kind of see dimension in the wall. Now I did do this on this skinny wall over here, which I'll show you. Tink. It looks kind of funky now. So that's all the plaster that I put on for texture. And it's just the plain white plaster. What I decided to do on this wall is, I don't know if I was supposed to, if I'm allowed to, if you shouldn't or should, but I mixed paint in with my plaster. So now my plaster has color. It is great. I think when I go back, because I'm going to have to repaint the white, I think when I go back it will be fine. With the gray, it won't be so hard to paint and match into what I'm trying to do with the stone wall. I think it will just give me a good base later, and then I can pull the highlights and lowlights out as I want. So again, taking a little glob, sticking it on there, and just kind of doing whatever I feel. I smooth it out a little bit and kind of let it be raised and bumpy and give it some texture, but making it try to look the way a natural stone might look. So that is it. It is day 2 on redoing the office. Today I want to get the walls behind me, the one behind me, and then over here, if I'm pointing in the right spot, finished with the little painted stonework and get the plaster on it. And then after, I need to move this hutchy thing over so I can finish the stone painty stuff over on that side. Gotta get this done because I've trashed the rest of the house with all the piles of stuff, and it all needs to get back in here and like be functional at the same time. So I really need to get this painting project done, and then I can, you know, organize and set the room to rights. But on a plus note, my closet looks really nice and it's so clean and organized, but I feel like it's gonna start getting cluttery as soon as I start putting the rest of the stuff away, because I haven't even put my sewing projects in there. So that is going to be the dilemma next, is trying to figure out how to organize all the sewing projects and the coats and things. So I will get to that. But now I need to paint and I need to change because I am not painting in this. But first I am going to put this shelf up. I was trying to figure out what to do with all of my different projects that I'm trying to sew with coats and dresses and things that need to be hemmed or fixed or torn and fixed. And I decided to hang this shelf up here in the closet so I could hang all of my sewing projects on it, and they wouldn't be hanging on the curtain rod anymore, and it would give a place that I could put things that need mending on the top shelf, and they wouldn't be sitting just in a box in front of the window. It's not the most logical spot to put it in the closet, since the closet is already pretty tight quarters with everything in there, but it's the best that I could come up with. After I did the shelf, I went ahead and started painting the rest of this wall gray. That was just me trying to figure out if the window and door were in the same lineup, and they were not, because I was trying to figure out where to stop said gray paint. Although it does change later on, because doing a mural on a one big huge wall is a lot, and I thought maybe I would do more of it, but I stopped at one wall. Welcome to day 3. We are back. I am still working on this mural. I have finished doing all of the texturizing looking things. I've done all the plaster. I started painting the plaster to look like rocks. Up here I've only got the darks in. And I probably should have started, you know, painting the texture to look more like rocks, but I was looking at it and went, ooh, it looks really 80s crazy, and you can't see the in-betweens of the rocks, all these lines, so I started painting all of these lines, and then realized that I probably shouldn't have done the lines first and done this first. If you understood that. I feel like I said it really weird. Anyway, so I'm painting through all of these lines right now, and then after I am going to take the plaster bits I put on and start painting them to look like more rocks. So they look like this down here. This has plaster on it, but it doesn't really show up as plaster, but it kind of gives that texture how I shaded it and painted it. So that is what I'm doing right now. Probably for a while. After I finished the mural on the other side of the room, I decided I did not like the blue anymore and decided to paint it to match my hallway, which is the orange. But first I had to get this TV mount and TV off the wall because it was unneeded. And then I went ahead and started to paint the rest of the room that I did not put the mural on, this wonderful orangey color, which is one of my favorites. I'm so glad that I found this can of paint. And then I just went ahead and started putting all of the pieces back together and hanging up my easels and my rulers and putting my patterns back in and loading everything back into the closet. That would make things easier for me. I'm trying to alleviate things being on the floor, because that seems to be what I do, is I just stack it on the floor. So if I have hangers on the wall, I will hang things up and not put it on the floor. And then once everything was dry with the mural, I went ahead and put a couple hooks into the wall. This is my grandfather's fencing sword, and I thought it would look really awesome hanging in front of the mural. Then I had this metal ship dish that was actually in my laundry room that I pulled out and thought it would look really cool with the sword. I did go ahead and move my husband's map over so I could hang up a different landscape painting that I've had, and decided to put that up as well on this wall. Now that the TV's gone, I needed something else to fill it up. It does look quite nice though, with the orange wall, with the orange of the painting and then the golden orange in the map. It came out really nice. So this is my organized closet. I have all of my sewing stuff on this white shelf, all of my fabric, iron, sewing machine, etc., etc. The bookshelf still houses all the same stuff, it's just been moved into the closet. The back shelves have all of my art tablets and different drawing stuff all stacked out neatly, and then I have my shelf. So this is it, the final product. It is all done. I'm really happy on how it came out. The orange looks really nice with the decorations that I had. The desk is all nice and cleaned up. I got a new lamp that I found at the thrift shop. It is by far much better than what it was and way more organized, and it makes me actually want to come in and play the piano and sew and not come in and go, oh my god, what a mess. I did change out the curtains. And I did end up organizing the hutch here so it could have more display items on it and decor versus having all of my art supplies, which I tucked away in the bottom. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me redo my office. I had a lot of fun doing the mural. I made a giant mess and it took way longer to complete than I anticipated because of said mural. But once I got all of that done and put all the pieces back together, it was very organized and easier to find all of my things, which is great. The closet, like I thought was gonna happen, is jam-packed full again. But at least now it's organized and I can find everything that I'm looking for and everything has a home so I can use it and put it back. I don't per se have a table to work on in there, but I have the keyboard on its little table, and then when I want to iron, I've been taking the keyboard off and putting it on my kitchen table and then ironing on that little, table that's there and using my sewing machine just on the desk and shoving everything out of the way. I do have a folding table that I think I could probably use, that's like old school, like with slats and things that I could use to have for a sewing table. I just haven't figured out if I can actually use it yet without getting splinters. Project for another day. It's never complete. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. It will only be a matter of time until I completely trash the room again, because it seems to be that my office is like the catch-all of everything else that's in my house. It all gets caught like in the office and I just set it down in the office. And it's like a mixture of everything with a ton of houseplants, and now it has seedlings in there and all of my sewing and my drawing and currently my next awesome endeavor that I'm on to now. And yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The one thing I didn't get to though is I wanted to do like wood beams in the corner and like have, like post and beam style structures going in there on the corners. I decided not to do that. I was going to paint them, and then I thought, well, why am I going to paint them? I need to retrim the entire room anyway because I have no door trim on some of it, and the floor trim's kind of messed up and the floors need to be redone. So I didn't end up doing the old look of the post and beam, because when I do all the trim in the room and the floor, I figured I would do it then, and then it'll be all cohesive in the same color, in the same style of wood and everything, versus having it be like two different styles. So I did not do that, which makes me kind of sad because I really wanted to have that as well, but it's just been put temporarily on the back burner until I do the other part of it. But otherwise, it's done. I'm really happy. It's organized and it is not blue anymore, and it's orange and matches my hallway, and I really enjoy that as well. And that is it. I will see you guys in the next video, and I really appreciate you guys just sticking around and hanging out with me on my little corner of the internet, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!